Hi, everyone, and welcome to Strategic Wealth Strategies Podcast with our host, Alan Porter. Alan, what's going on, man? How are you?
Well, everything's great here in North Carolina. The weather's beautiful. Had a big thunderstorm last night, but it's a beautiful day here now.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's great when it's beautiful weather out. It's beautiful in Texas as well. And what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I brought this particular subject up several months ago, but it's about the 401k. It's outdated and needs to be replaced. So what I've done, again, I'm going to bring my PowerPoint up, done a little editing to it, and bear with me one second.
All right, we got it.
Okay. All right. I've entitled this 401ks are a scam, and do you want proof? Well, everybody says, well, I've been listening to Wall Street for years. They said 401k is the absolute thing to do. Here's our 6 reasons why 401ks are a scam. Reason 1, the tax deferral scam. In our immediate gratification society, deferring your taxes for funding your 401k sounds good, but it's not. Let me ask you a question. Can you tell me what the tax rates will be 10, 20, 30 years from now?
Oh, very high, very high.
Well, listen, the Congressional Budget Office report that was put out last fall, and I've got an error on here because it's 66%. They need to be increased by 66% overall, or we're not even going to be able to pay the debt on a $31 trillion deficit. And that's back then. Our deficit's more than that now. And the thing is, unfortunately, if tax rates go up and you're successful in growing your nest egg, you're going to be in a much, much higher tax bracket. And that right there goes away with the tax deferral. It's not a tax deferral. As I tell people, would you rather pay taxes on the seed or the harvest? Well, I'll tell you which one the government wants you to pay on, and that's the harvest. And it's going to be being on a rate that they institute on you, and you have no control over it. The free money scam. Well, here's the thing. Well, I contribute to my 401k, but I have an employer match. Well, let me tell you something. Business people are smart. They're not going to give you something for nothing. They pay 99 cents less salary on average because of their match. It just depends on how much they're going to match. Plus, you don't even get all the employees matched during the first 4 to 6 years because you have to be, tenured.
Yeah.
And if you leave your job before that, you typically don't get the match at all. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average time a person stays on a job is only 4.1 years. And and get a load of this, it's even less than that for younger people. And people don't realize all these things people have no idea about. They should, because it affects their financial future. This is huge. Fees will devour your hard-earned money. In spite of the rules passed a few years ago requiring better 401 fee disclosure, surveys show most participants still have no clue how much they're actually paying. Do you realize, Neil, that a 1% fee over a 30-year period will reduce your income by 1/3? And the average fee for a 401k is 2.88% across the board, and that's by Forbes magazine. And I've got a couple of videos that came from ABC. They're interviewing a lobbyist from Washington. He lobbies for the 401k, lobbies for Wall Street. They put him on the spot. And they asked him, why aren't you showing the fees to the consumer? Well, we think the consumer, we don't like to do a change. I said, yeah, you don't like to do a change because you're making a ton of money. People have no idea. People in smaller companies, Neil, are going to lose half of their retirement because of fees alone. And that doesn't even count market risk. I'll tell you, it's just like Wall Street. Somebody's getting rich. It's just like the 60-40 stock split with Wall Street. It doesn't work. It's outdated. It doesn't work in retirement. And the 401k doesn't work out anymore. It's outdated. It needs to be replaced. The other thing, funding a 401k is like putting your money in prison. You have no access to it. You've got to be 59 and a half before you even take the money out. If you take it out before, it's a 10% penalty. And you have to beg for permission to use your own money. There's all kinds of restrictions and penalties for accessing your own money. I've got products and strategies that you can access your money anytime. You can retire tax-free before 59 and a half if you want, if you build it up properly. And you have access to your money. It does not affect taxation of Social Security or means testing Medicare Part B, which a 401k does, and that's thousands per year. It's also protected from lawsuits and liens and judgments. This isn't. The myth of market returns. This is the propaganda that Wall Street puts out. You've been told over the long term you can do well in the stock market. Over the last 2 decades, the average equity mutual fund investor has earned only 4.25% per year, beating inflation by only 2.1% per year. It's not beating inflation now, it's losing money. Asset allocation investors average only 2.89% per year, beating inflation by less than 1%. These were old figures. What is inflation right now? I think it's around 6.5%, isn't it, Neil?
Yeah.
It was up at a 40-some year high. Yet Wall Street has brainwashed us to believe we have to risk our money in order to get any kinds of decent returns. And putting the money in a 401k in Wall Street is not the answer. And I did a previous podcast where I discussed I call it the desert, stock market desert, because there's a country in the world here that hasn't recovered in over 33 years from their stock market crash, and that's Japan. And back in 2002, and 2010, the S&P didn't recover. The stock market did not recover. In fact, it had a 4% loss in that 10-year period. But the indexing strategies that I use for my products had a 5% gain. And my products are tax-free. After decades of running lab rats in the great 401 experiment, most retirees still don't even have close to enough saved. The average person, I think, only has something like $135,000 put into their 401k. Even the father of the 401k, Ted Binion, he says it's out of control. It needs to be blown up. He said now he puts most of his type of money into my strategy. How much evidence do you need? 401ks are not the solution. They're touted to be. The more accurate name for 401k is hope and pray. It makes Wall Street rich, not you. It makes the financial advisors wealthy because they make a fee whether you make money or not. Now, Neil, I used to be a registered investment advisor, but I stopped doing that this year. I turned my assets over to management, to a member of my team member who does that. But I have a great conflict of interest charging people a fee whether they make money or not. So I just concentrate on safe products that protects the family and protects your assets. So are there good alternatives to 401k? The answer is yes, but you're not going to hear about it from any financial advisor, as they only deal in stocks and bonds. And they call themselves fiduciaries. And they get paid a fee whether you make money or not. Are they looking out for your best interest or the best interest of themselves and the companies they work for? You need to ask them. Put them on the spot. Here's at least 10 benefits and more using my tax-free retirement strategy. And it makes an excellent alternative to conventional conventional retirement plans. First off, it's the best tax code approved, tax-free retirement system available today with many, many benefits that a stock portfolio cannot produce. You have guaranteed predictable growth and retirement income with no luck, skill, or guesswork required. There's no volatility because we're not tied to the market. You're in control of your money without government penalties and restrictions on how much you can take out and when you can take it out. The tax advantages. You access your principal and growth with no taxes due under current tax law. Liquidity. Your cash value can easily and immediately be tapped for any purposes. I show people how to become their own bank, Neil, how to get out of debt, paying themselves compound interest and not the financial institutions. I bet in the last 2 weeks, I have saved people over $10 million in interest on the programs of the form.
Wow.
We have a group of financial advisors from the Smart Advisor program. I would say we're close to saving over $500 million in interest for our clients in the last 1.5 to 2 years. Fees don't compound against you. Now, one of the things people say, especially people that do assets under management, well, insurance is too expensive. Well, it's expensive up front. It's an inverted expense. as the cost, as the cash value grows to build towards the death benefit, the cost of insurance goes down. And not so with the stock portfolio. As your stock portfolio grows, so goes the fees. And again, you pay that fee whether you make money or not. You're protected from litigation. You're not protected from litigation with a stock portfolio. It avoids probate. A lot of people don't know what probate is, but probate is a lawsuit that's initiated by you that you're going to pay for and you're going to lose. Because I don't know if people remember Joe Robbie of Joe Robbie Stadium, the Miami Dolphins. He was worth $400 million at one time because he had no exit plan, no will or trust set up properly. His estate went into probate, and his family got next to nothing because they had to sell the team and the asset just to pay the taxes on the estate. I know people remember Prince. The beneficiaries are going to get anywhere from probably 15 to 20% of that estate because it's in probate. And here's something else that's real criminal as far as I'm concerned. Attorney's going to get 6 to 12% of that estate.
Oh my God.
It's tax-free for long-term care options, and people need to understand. And I have people tell me all the time, oh, I'm never going to need long-term care. Well, guess what? 70% of all Americans are going to need long-term care at some point in their life. 40% of all Americans right now are on long-term care between 18 and 64. And I just had to put my brother, I'm 70, he's 75, had to put him in a nursing home last spring. The state patrol back in Nebraska, that's where I'm from, called his daughter up and said, you need to come get your father. He's disoriented and doesn't know what he's doing. They caught him going down the interstate in the wrong direction. He could have killed himself with somebody else. But here's something else people don't understand. It does not affect the taxation of Social Security or the means testing for Medicare Part B. And that can be thousands of dollars per year, plus many, many other benefits. Now, this is kind of a short presentation of what that does for you, but please don't hesitate to share those with your family and friends. I've got books out. I've got other podcasts out. I've got videos on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel people can go to. But if this interests you, please give me, call me at 910-551-1046. My email address is strategicwealth0@gmail.com. I'll prepare a free analysis for you. I'll show you the benefits. I'll explain the benefits to you, because other financial planners that just do a fee-based asset are not going to do this, because number one, I don't think they know about the product. If they do, they're not educated. And number three, they're not licensed to sell it. I just want to thank everybody for watching. And Neil, this stuff needs to be put out to as many people out there as possible, because it's affecting their financial life or financial futures. People have no idea about the fees in their 401k. It's going to destroy them.
Alan, this is such great information. Again, you add these components that no one's talking about. And it's so important to look at that the 401k, and especially younger people thinking they're going to invest, go ahead, pay off your debt first. Get cash value life insurance. Do your debt-free for life plan, especially if you get your new house and the car. Do it, or even before you think about those things. And contact Alan today. And Alan is another great podcast. You talk about your YouTube channel, how it educates people so much. There's so much valuable information that you're only talking about, and we appreciate it every time, Alan, we do the show.
All right, well, Neil, thank you very much.
All right, that was the Strategic Wealth Strategy Podcast, guys. Take care.